why you're not ready to hear what a good psychic is telling you. My name is Yasmin Ibrahim and I'm an intuitive guide for life and business, which means I read energy as a psychic and medium. I've read the energy for businesses, land, people, places, things, situations. If it's somewhere, I can read it. By the way, don't post your questions in here. For me to read your questions, you can head on over to my Instagram, then go over to the link in bio. I have a free Facebook group where I do free readings. So go and join that. Don't put your questions in the comments. How do you know a good psychic from a really average or a not very good psychic? We have a bad rap because people assume that they're digging for information so they can feed back other information that people want to hear. I don't do that. I don't need to know your name. I don't need to know where you live. I don't need a photograph. If it exists somewhere, I can read the energy. To make best use of a psychic reading, ensure you have specific questions. Because if you think you're going to test a psychic by saying things like, tell me what I need to know, and it's got no specific direction in there, you're going to receive a load of guidance and information that is not currently in your awareness. Over on Instagram today, I did a live with a person who I've read for over the last few years, and when I did the first reading, she was not ready to hear what I had to say. First off, she didn't really realise I was going to give her an energy reading the way that I did, and it involved major life changes, including living in a different country, the health of her child, the arrival of a new child, and so much more. At the time that I was reading for her, I told her all of these things, and she was adamant that she wasn't going to move country. She was also worried about her son, who was going through major heart surgery, and she could not see at that time how he could be well because he was so poorly. I gave her very specific information about the health of her young boy. I gave her specific information about where she would be living, what the surroundings looked like, which village was her village, that she was going to have another daughter, personal things about where her work was headed and how it was going to evolve. So much information, so much detail, and I did it inside half an hour. That's why my readings are short. Now, the thing about this was, at that time, she was going through quite a lot of heavy stuff in her life. There were some major life challenges around a friend, the son not being well, her parents, a few things like that. And she couldn't see, and this is a comment I get a lot, I can't see how that's going to happen. You don't need to see how it's got to happen. You've just got to have faith that it's going to happen. And by the way, it never arrives on your time. It arrives when you are ready. So at that time, she openly shared with me today on Instagram that she was a bit annoyed about the fact that I'd said these things, and in that time she was going through something so heavy she couldn't see how she was going to get past it, and she didn't probably at that time feel it was helpful. Roll on pandemic, lockdowns, and when we were coming out of the lockdowns, she sent me a message and she said, "You never guess where I'm at." I had said to her in a reading that she would live somewhere that overlooks still water. Okay, so it wasn't the ocean, it wasn't the sea, it was still water. She laughed today and she said, "Oh, I thought you meant I'd have a pond in my back garden." But no, it's a lake. I told her it was in France, and she sent me a picture of the very lake and she said, "This is where I live." And throughout the time since post-lockdown, since 2020 up until now, she messages me regularly and says, "This has happened. I now have a daughter. I'm now pregnant. XYZ." There's a whole list of 5 or 6 things that she has told, that I told her, and she responded and said they have all happened. Now, throughout this time, I've given her a number of readings. We've worked together and I've helped her manage the life challenges that have occurred for her. So a good psychic isn't just going to say, "Oh yeah, I can see you doing XYZ," and leaving it there. They will be specific in detail. They will not only just be specific, they will tell you how to get there. They will tell you who's involved in it. There is so much level of detail from someone who can read many aspects. And that's why I said I read people, places, spaces, things. I don't just read the energy of people. I can read the whole picture and understand where it goes. Now, a really good question she asked. She said, you told me these things and some things happened, then we had the pandemic. Did you read that there was a pandemic? And I said, actually, no, I didn't. And she said, do you think that slowed down things materializing in my life? Checked with my channel. My channel said, yes, that was part of it. The other part of it is that it happens when she is ready and there is space in her life to make those things happen. She was in a lot of masculine energy, doing, hustling. There was no space for these things to land. You have to ease back, create space, and allow these things to materialize in your life. And that means letting go of control, letting go of being the person that's always doing, and allowing in other people to come in and help. So when you're getting tarot readings, when you're getting psychic readings, ask specific questions because you will get specific answers. And if the psychic reader is really good, they will give you so much more detail. With me, you can record any of my psychic sessions, and I encourage you to do that because I will never remember what I've said to you. I'm a channeler. I receive the information, I give it to you, I move on to the next client. So to record it is a really good way to reflect upon what's happening. And sometimes it does take longer because it depends on your ability to receive and accept for that stuff to come into your life. There also has to be a sequence of events that might need to happen in order for those things to come into your life. For instance, with my client, she had to be moving to France before her daughter arrived because her daughter had contracted on a soul level to arrive when they moved to France. So I'm not only reading your physicality here, I'm reading your soul and what your soul has planned for you. Your job is to close the gap so that all of this can materialize in your life. That means allowing the flow of life to come in and being open to doing something different. So if you want to go and watch the full live, head on over to my Instagram and watch the live. Go follow Lucy's journey because she's an amazing woman, and I have been working with her for now about 5 years, and more is happening for her. If you want to book a reading, I don't have the link in bio at the moment, so go jump into my Instagram and you can book a reading with me, and I can give you a phone reading no matter where you are in the world. And as I already said, you are welcome to record it. And if you want to test me out for free, do what I said at the beginning of this video, which is go to my free Facebook group, go and join, come and join the event for the next free readings, ask me a question and see how accurate I am. Because not only will I answer the question, I'll tell you how to get the things that you want. Meanwhile, drop a comment and let me know how you've got on with psychic readings in the past.